I think we started in March. And it was fantastic, really good course, really learning some different bits about how to lead and manage a team and develop them. And a lot of the things that we went through, I've implemented with some of the companies that I'm working with. So it's been fantastic. And when I asked Mari to join us today, she said, yeah. So I am really pleased that you've agreed to join us, and hopefully everyone can get a lot out of this session. So I will let you introduce yourself and your amazing qualifications and background, and get the session kick-started.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. The tongue is mightier than the sword. Have you ever spent some time just thinking about the absolute power of this statement? Good afternoon, ladies. It's my honor to be here today and to talk about how our intentions, words, and body language can give life to the lost, hope to the downtrodden, and unlock a new potential for the future. When Jenna contacted me about this event, I blurted out a big yes before even thinking much about it. Because you see, I love working with women's hearts. And I know in my heart of hearts that the tongue is undoubtedly the most powerful tool. And if we truly understand how to use it to build, the foundations of what we are building become indestructible. My name is Marie Steyn, the Director of Women in Leadership at the Power Within Training, a position which I love because of the opportunities we co-create like this today, to do exactly this, to share and build and bring hope. I've got an academic background in psychology and knowledge and information management and consciousness and transformative studies, and then I went the coaching route right up to being a coaching trainer. But that's not for today. For today is about you and unlocking what's in here. Women bring a kind of depth to any relationship that's just wonderful. And my job is to remind you of this. I'm here today to tell you about motivational intelligence, the foundational secret to taking control of yourself and the quality of your life. Motivational intelligence refers to the degree to which you can hold your own, steer your life in the direction you choose, and be resilient, adaptable, and courageous. The greatest motivator of motivational intelligence is being of service. So I want you to imagine something. Just go with me here. Close your eyes. Go ahead, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. I want you to imagine yourself standing, filled with light, standing amongst the people in your life, the people you love. And imagine each time you open your mouth to speak to them, your words become living water that brings life to everyone you encounter. So imagine you as the source of the water that nourishes the hearts and minds of others, and you get to see them grow and blossom. Now take a deep breath and feel what it feels like to be the source that brings growth. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't holding the potential to grow people and relationships give you joy and purpose? Come back to me. Okay, so the question in your mind is probably, how do I do this? And before I answer, I want to tell you a story. One day, a long, long time ago, when the world still had unicorns, a tiny baby creature was left all alone in the woods. This baby cried shrill cries and was dirty and ran towards other animals and people, screaming its scream. The animals and people were terrified of this dirty, ugly thing that attacked all that lives. And very quickly, stories were told about the fierce, dangerous animal that screeched and would attack anyone who dares to come near it. This creature became feared. It was called the Invisible One. because it was so tiny and not easily seen, yet its screams so loud. Rumors of the invisible one spread like wildfire. And one day, a family went for a walk in the woods. The parents warned the children to be very careful of the invisible one. But Mary, the 6-year-old, was deaf. And while looking at the beautiful trees, she suddenly felt something warm and soft curl up against her legs. And as she looked down, she saw a tiny baby creature, a little animal, snuggling up against her. And she knelt down and picked it up. So this baby was crying and shivering from cold and hunger. Mary realized that this baby needed help, kindness. All of his short life, he was feared and rejected. No one knew that his screams were nothing more than cries for help and a begging to be loved and cared for. You see, the invisible one became visible. This is what happens when we stop falling for and listening to other people's ideas. When we allow people in life to show up in magical ways, then only do we have the opportunity to share our gifts with them. And this is how we build people and relationships. Here's another question. Why do we have to build people? Simply because we're in this thing called life together. And when we share and care for one another, everyone benefits. We move from brokenness to wholeness, from fear to love, and from feeling excluded and less than to feeling included and equal to. This is the kind of world where we all can thrive and belong, a world where we all feel valued and seen, where we can contribute and expand, a world in which we all can evolve, and that is to become better. Wouldn't you just love to live in a world like this, where you become better and facilitate the becoming better of others, where you can take a deep breath and know you have made someone invisible visible? This is possible in real time, in real life. And you're probably thinking, what on earth does motivational intelligence have to do with this? What does being a conscious communicator have to do with this? I tell you, everything. Motivational intelligence is your ability to stay in your truth and consciously control your thoughts, your actions, and reactions so that you can create the life you choose despite life's hardships. By understanding and increasing your motivational intelligence, you become more you, and your words become like living water for everyone you interact with. And living water gives life. This is what happens when we step away from the stories and fears of the madding crowd. Remember that growth is about inclusion, not exclusion, and everyone benefits from inclusion. So how do we include people that are sad, broken, unwilling, or downright scary? It all starts with willingness from your side. You become the includer. This willingness stems directly from your level of motivational intelligence. And motivational intelligence has 4 cornerstones. 1, vision. 2, taking ultimate responsibility. 3, knowing people have unlimited potential. And 4, adaptability, adapting to what life throws at you and keeping moving forward. So let's touch on vision first. Seneca the Younger was a leading intellectual figure and philosopher in Rome during the mid-1st century. And just listen to what he said. If a man does not know what port he is steering for, no wind is favorable for him. For as long as humans have existed, these questions were asked. What do you want? Where are you headed? What do you want to achieve? And many more similar ones. Okay, so let's stick with a boat metaphor. What do you think will happen if I run to the harbour, jump in my boat, and head out into the open sea, just on a whim? Do you think I'll go anywhere I choose? Do you think I'll be at risk? Of course. Now, say I decide to go from here to the Seychelles because I know that my treasure is buried there. What would I have to do differently? And why? How will it benefit me? What do you think are my chances of success now? If I see my treasure as integral to the future I want, my vision or dream and the journey there is my future. I and only I am in charge. I can create it any way I want to, so I might as well make it wonderful. More often than not, people have no vision of a better life. Most people have forgotten their dream. Do you want to know what a person envisions or dreams about? Simple. Ask them. And it's so sad when you get an answer like, I don't know, or just getting through the day. What does this say about the state of their lives? Do you think they feel motivated to stretch and grow and actively participate in creating a good or a better world? No, I don't think so. You might find a person becoming quite emotional when they tell you this. You see, we were created to create. We were meant to enjoy our lives and live with purpose. Living with purpose and intention creates a huge wake behind us that pulls others along too. No man is an island. We need each other. So when someone has lost hope, as conscious communicators, we can gently share ours to ignite a little light in their souls. And sometimes just that tiny crack in the wall lets in enough light to start a fire. To get people moving forward with courage, they need to know that what they are moving towards. So if you can, give them a glimpse of something better in the future. Remind them of it constantly so that they don't have any other choice but to also start thinking about it often. And this is the trick. By reminding people as much as possible that there is hope, they start believing it too. And once someone believes something to be true, a whole process of affirming that belief is set in motion in the person's mind. This process causes what we know as a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's exactly what we want. So please make a commitment to yourself that you will use this information wisely, as one can also implant negative, debilitating beliefs into someone's mind. So become the voice of reason and the voice of love. Okay, now we're going to talk about understanding and taking ultimate responsibility. Have you ever tried to build or change a relationship with someone who has the attitude of, yes, but, or yes, but you? It's impossible because nothing will change or improve. Such a person is the victim, disempowered, and lacks willingness to improve, alter their behavior, or understand the consequences for themselves and others. It truly is impossible to move forward with such a person. This is very typical of a fixed mindset. People with a high motivational intelligence have the ability to take a step back, stand behind the short wall, assess the situation, understand that they are somehow involved in whatever happened or didn't happen. They look at the issue from various perspectives and make adjustments. They get involved and cause change. What do you think the thought process of someone is who is becoming courageous enough to step up and take responsibility? Such a person will think, I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure it out. The more this courage develops, thus increasing his or her motivational intelligence, the thought process evolves into, I need to step up or in and help so that everyone benefits. When we take responsibility for ourselves and our effects or influence in any situation, we feel empowered and contributing. The feeling of figuring things out and being part of finding and implementing solutions is beyond measure, beyond description. It applies to relationships and situations, live and inanimate things. If we approach relationships from the point of view that we want the best for other people and we want the other person to feel welcome and good about themselves, we have to take responsibility for reminding that person of who they really are. I say this because most people have forgotten. They live from day to day, getting by, and often they've just resigned to their circumstances. What an awful place to be. Now you have the power, if you so choose, to be sincere in your communication, your words, your body language, and your tone of voice, to change somebody's self-perception and help them take back responsibility for their own lives. The only way we can do this is with a loving heart and kind words. Why would conscious communicators with high motivational intelligence want to grow people and relationships? Simply because everyone benefits. What do we mean by unlimited potential? This refers to the fact that anyone can learn anything if they so wish. What stops us from learning is fear. But when fear rears its ugly head, we deny ourselves the opportunity to learn and master new skills, interpersonal or otherwise. And in turn, listen to this, we stunt everyone and everything else too. If I hadn't had James Fleming, my MD, understand the concept of unlimited potential, there is no ways that I would have been able to do this talk here today. Let me explain. My work is my calling. I'm a helper and a healer and a messenger who joined this remarkable team whose vision is fully aligned with mine. The trouble was, being a bit older, I had a deathly fear of computer systems and working in a completely virtual space. I was terrified, to say the least. I actually get anxious just talking about it. The problem was that if I wasn't willing to face my fear head on, at the risk of making mistakes and feeling stupid, this opportunity would be lost. And then one day, while presenting a training session live on Zoom, I did absolutely everything wrong, and the internet connection was unstable. My worst nightmare came true. And in a situation like that, I knew I couldn't just switch it off and run away. I had to push through to the best of my abilities, and I did. It felt like I was going to die. Thank goodness the women were very forgiving. And the reason is because I took ultimate responsibility for what happened. I apologized and made sure that I became a master at it. I was fortunate enough to have a leader who consistently affirmed my unlimited potential by encouraging me every single day. He would say things like, "Come on, I know you can. Think of the opportunities that await once you've mastered this. And I know you're not a giver-upper." He kept on affirming my unlimited potential, even when I doubted. And then one day, I got it right. I knew that James was right. I also have unlimited potential to learn. And I promise you, if I can, you can. For that matter, anyone can. Sometimes we simply need that encouragement from somebody we trust. This is the power of conscious communication from a foundation of wanting to build people and relationships. Just think of the possibilities and power you have to unlock for yourself and others. Think of what you can mean to others. And now it's time to talk about adaptability. My goodness, that a tiny word like this can elicit so much uncertainty. Perhaps it's because of the many vowels. in all seriousness, adaptability has more to do with motivational, mental, emotional, relational, and financial health than you can ever imagine. Let me explain why. Imagine you are right here where you are, and the feedback you get from the environment is that your perception and subsequent actions are in line with the requirements and demands of what's going on out there. Means that the distance between your ideas, your inner world, and the reality of the outside world is close. So it's close. And because you and the environment are in constant flux, you move with flow. It's easy. And you feel in control. But when you become rigid and resist the required shift in thought and action to stay in flow, the world is constantly changing. The distance between you and the environment increases, and the farther away your perception is from the reality out there, the harder it is to function fully. And this is where we start creating tremendous emotional and psychological and social problems. So we want a shorter distance. Have you ever had a vision or dream? In other words, set your intention. So if you have your vision and dream, set your intention, learn what you need to learn to get you there. Know it's up to you to realize that dream and be flexible in your approach. You become unstoppable. Not only that, but you also feel stable in your core. And this is so important. And this is how you build yourself and your people, with the stability. We've reached a stage in our evolution where we are looking to each other for examples of overcoming and becoming. Our zeitgeist is a bit different now, where people now say, oh, if she can, I can, and if I can, you can. This is the responsibility and the power of influence we have. Have you ever played that game, Pushing Against? It's the game where you stand about a meter or so away from your friend, facing her. You hold your feet still, touch hands, and lean in towards one another with your upper bodies. Both lean in and then move their feet further away. And as long as you both lean in equally hard, nothing happens. But when one suddenly shifts and moves out of the way, the other one will either fall or come running past the mover. We used to love this game as children. I used to have my sister run into the wall. Now, it's the same with psychological resistance. For as long as we resist a thing, it will push back with the same force that we resist it. Only when we let go of the resistance can the thing that was weighing us down flow past, or in plain terms, go away. This is Newton's third law of motion, the law of action and reaction. Basically states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. Now you may be asking yourself, what does vision, unlimited potential, ultimate responsibility, and adaptability have to do with building people? And this is a great question, and it's the crux of our talk today. You see, using these ideas as a backdrop in your mind puts you in the headspace of what we call a growth mindset. And believe me, you want this. People with a growth mindset are open, non-judgmental, curious, and easy to be with. They understand that life happens. And so what? Growth mindset people have a positive, high impact on others and the environment. They want others to believe in themselves and grow and stretch so that they too can be happy and have a positive, high impact. Growth mindset people understand that we need each other and that if we all thrive as individuals, then all thrive as a collective. Everyone wins. I would love to show you my favorite mental model that contains so much wisdom. It's called the DILT's Neurological Levels Model. Okay, I guess you've all seen the movie Shrek. Now, dear Shrek said, ogres are like onions, they have layers. Now, people are also like ogres, So they also, like onions, have layers. So looking from the inside out, we have spirituality right at the core, identity in beliefs and values, skills and capabilities, behavior, and environment as the outside layer. Now I'm going to breathe life into this model, so listen up. Most people, up to 95%, live their lives from the outside in. They allow their environment to determine their behavior, and then their behavior will allow certain learning to take place or not, thus affecting their skills and capabilities. This will then inform their beliefs and values. It will show them their identity, and this again will give them an idea of how they fit into the bigger picture of life. When we live with this mindset, we are at the mercy of everything and anything out there. And it's a very disempowered place to be. We become victims and have little or no control over our thoughts and feelings. We are then conditioned to believe that what those out there decide is true for us. We give our power away. We become assimilated into the madding crowd where we keep many people invisible, ourselves too. We say that people who live from the outside in are at effect. But on the contrary, the ones who turn this idea on its head and start seeing the truth of the matter, that we always live from the inside out, from the enfolded into the unfolded world, we grow. Not only do we grow, but we have a higher impact on others, causing them to grow too. We live with a purpose, a vision. We take responsibility for ourselves and are open and able to learn what we want to. And we then become a beacon of grace. You start living at cause. I want you to picture what influence you can have on at effect people when you are at cause. Remember, they are influenced by everything and anything around them, outside them. And seeing that you're outside of them, this is an amazing opportunity. Your relationship with them through your conscious communication is part of their environment. Great. So as you enter their layers from the outside in, which at this stage are dense and closed and fixed, you start cracking open a way in. Because your ultimate goal is to remind them of who they really are, because they have forgotten. And once there is enough trust, the crack opens up wide and their own light starts shining from the inside out. And what a gift to give another. People with fantastic motivational health cause motivational health in others. You see, everyone benefits. They also understand that growth comes from change, not chance. Now I would love to leave you with some points to ponder. We spoke about a growth mindset, vision, unlimited potential, ultimate responsibility, and adaptability. But without a growth mindset, there is no change. Without a vision, there is no future. Without embracing unlimited potential, learning, and growth, we stay stagnant. Without taking ultimate responsibility, we are victims. And without adaptability, we lose our relevance. A last thought that keeps popping up is hope, faith, and love. Hope is the belief that something better awaits in the future. Faith is that we have the ability and resources to make the better future happen. And love is what you are made of and what you bring to the world. It is your superpower. So thank you for spending time with me here today, and go out and make your and others' lives beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really interesting. I believe you asked Heather about a Q&A at the end, or did you have any questions you wanted to ask?
Correct.
Or?
Oh, correct. If there's anybody who's got questions, they're so welcome.
Any questions in the room? No? Anyone got any questions on the call?
Mine's not a question, but maybe it's more of personal observation, if you don't mind. And I don't usually share this amount of information, but your talk is so inspiring. So I was actually at 18 in the homeless shelter. My mum had mental health problems, and I was really in, a bad place. And, your talk today, I'm not perfect in any stretch, but I definitely didn't want to be in that place. And so I took myself off to university, having 4 jobs and all the rest of it to get me there. But I was absolutely inspired to build a better life. And it's these sorts of events where it's really inspiring to me that how we can help each other, and through supporting each other, we can just change people's lives. So thank you. Sometimes we always need that remembrance of, just the power that we have. And, if more of us do it, then, and share things, so that I don't share that in a public forum. Maybe I should, but I don't, for selfish reasons. In construction, it's, us ladies who probably realize, it's a hard place to share certain private information. But if there's enough of us that do it, then I think it can be very helpful for others.
Thank you, Laura. Absolutely. You've got to share your story, because you are a living story. And people are inspired by stories and by the heart. So thank you for sharing, and go out, share your story.
Well, but thank you. Incredibly inspiring. You've touched me, honestly. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone or observations? I've got a quick question for you. What would you say is the best way to motivate people who perhaps aren't that motivated to do what you need them to do? Perhaps you want to make some changes and you know that they're not going to be forthcoming in wanting to make a change. What's the best way to get them on board and to follow the new way?
They've got to be bought into the dream. They always start with a vision. They've got to understand the vision of where you want them to go, and then you've got to find a way to align what's important to them with your vision. So people need to know what's in it for them. Are they going to contribute? What will the reward be? And people want different rewards. People want money or flexibility in time or recognition or time off. Doesn't matter. So find out what's important to somebody else, invest in them, and align that to your vision. That's the easiest way to get people invested.
Good. That's what my presentation's got, a nice big slide on it called "What's in it for me?" Any other questions, ladies? Mary, did you want to run through what the Power Within is about and the course that we did? Just give ladies a bit of an introduction to that.
Sure. I'm going to stop sharing my slides because I've just got this tiny. Okay, this is easier. So the Power Within training specializes in using motivational intelligence, which you've been introduced to now, for leadership, specifically leadership. And I'm in charge of the women in leadership, but we've got the mixed cohorts as well. So in our leadership training, we teach people how to use these concepts to create cohesive teams and to actually get rid of the fluff and to get people moving forward. There's possible funding available through the CITB, which we can help with. And also, we also have coaching on a personal level, which forms a wonderful mix of personal coaching and also business coaching, because it flows. The one flows into the other. You can't really just have them separate, because you are the person that lives all of these aspects of your life. So if there's any interest in that, please, you know where to find me. My details are up there, and you saw this event on LinkedIn, so you've got me. You're so welcome to contact me. And if what we also do, if there are larger companies that would like this training, we actually custom make them for them, and we help with the funding, and we can do these special programs for your company, obviously in consultation with what's important to you. So that's who we are. We're an amazing team. Love them. Thank you, Jenna.
Well, if there's no other questions, we can pop half an hour back in everyone's diary. And thank you very much for joining us. Our next event is in July, and we've got the who have we got? We've got Simon Hamlin, who is the CEO of the Institute. We've got Simon Navan, who is the head of EDI for the Institute, and we've also got Steve Slesser, who was the previous president, and we're going to be doing a bit of a Q&A with them. Now, this is probably a great event for you guys to share with the men that you work with, because it's all about how men can be great allies to us. So the idea of the talk is for them to give us ideas, suggestions, be a bit of a Q&A, me asking them some questions on basically what they've done, how they've supported women, and help give men advices so they can support us better. So please do share that. I know a lot of women generally join these calls, but I think if we could get this one out to the men, it would be great to help them give us a bit better support in our roles in the construction industry. Fabulous. Right, well, have a good rest of the week and a good rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you all next time. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.